Hello and welcome back to the TypeLocke, where we did all our encounters last time. So we just go through what we have as potential team members. You can see along the bottom, but we have our Houndour and Pucciano, which are the two we will have to do the bug gym with. They're my only two dark types, and that was the roll of the dice. So it's not perfect, but we can get away with this because this is a fire type terror. We also picked up a Pormy, a Tinkatink, an Igglybuff, and we hatched a Chimchar because we are including Kitakami. We also managed to get the Static Lechonk, a Paldean Wooper, a Swaddle, a Zazu, Wingull, and our starter was a Frikoko. We did decide that we were going to allow one Terror Raid per location when we do the next boss battle. So we did the Terror Raid around Katie's gym, and we can take on one Terror Raid in Kitakami in the different locations. Now we got a lot of encounters we can go and do after this. I thought, because my team is probably strong enough, I say strong enough, probably capable enough of winning, we were going to actually just level up a tiny bit. We're not grinding out endless levels, it's no point, but we just want to get these up to about level 12-ish. Shouldn't be too difficult, should it? And a few others are going to be leveling up. I may take a team into the trial just for some extra battles. If we're honest, that will probably be better, just so we can level up a few more people. But the idea is not to use any in the actual battle itself. We know that we've got quite a tight selection of level caps coming up, so we have to play it a little bit smarter early game, and that's why we've got quite a broad selection of team members. I don't want to go over any level, so if somebody gets to level 16 outside of these two, they will be put in the box. But otherwise, we're going to just carry on. As we said, that the tracker is the hardest thing to keep on top of, because there's no easy way to input everything. I've got a few ideas of what we're going to do with that. We can do it during cutscenes, really. I think that's going to be our best bet. Oh no, you're nearly out. How did you get so weak? What did you fight that nearly killed you? Oh, let's just keep going then. I don't think, maybe he ran into a Diglett or something. Silly little hyena. So our naming theme was sort of, people can ask or can select nicknames. So there's that. Hello boy from Belgium, how are you doing? How is Crystal going? We're going to give this TypeLocke another bit of a go. I just need to level up a tiny bit, if we're honest, because, well, it's not quite strong enough for this one. Just go after these, please. Leave the Diglett alone. We don't care about the Diglett. I've pretty much just got to level this up to around 13, I think, so I can take on the gym. And then we'll get on with encounters and stuff a bit later. Because there's no point going too far ahead if we've got things there. So what is the full team you're using in that run? I'm assuming you're going to have Feraligatr, because that's the one you use to wall the game, from what I remember. And the only thing I always say I don't like about those games is the 7 HMs you need. It's just it's very annoying. Feraligatr, Noctowl, Steelix, Macargo, Jinx, and Miltank. Okie dokie. And I'm guessing Miltank is the HM friend? Maybe? I can't say for sure. No, I don't really want to take on Diglets because they're going to hurt. You know, it's been so long since I played gold or silver. Because we had gold and silver. Well, I actually bought both when they first came out, but then I quickly sold one to a friend because I think his brother wanted it. So I pretty much sold it for the same as I bought it, not barely touched the game. Because I had 2 Game Boys at the time of release. So the question is to you, do you think I can beat Katie with a Houndour and a Poochyena as my 2 team members? Is that going to be potential in there? Or are we going to have some problems? Because that's all we've got at the moment, is those 2. It's sort of a good thing, because it's kind of nice to get the Dark type out the way early, because Dark type, if I got it late, would be horrible. Because, let's face it, if you've got the Fairy Gym and the Fighting Gym as 2 of the last 3, I don't want to have to use the Dark types in there. I also don't really want to use the Dark types against the Sidekick Gym, because they have so much Fairy coverage. So that has worked in my favour. But we won't know the next typing for a little while longer. And I'm not going to reveal each typing until we finish one off. So I need to just get this, as I say, to level 12, 13. And then I can do the gym trials and stuff. And then after the gym trials, then I'm hoping we'll be closer to 15. But I can't guarantee that. It's one of those maybe moments. But you know what it's like. This bit's always going to be a little bit slower. I think we've got like good coverage already, if I'm honest. Like, there's a few things we have nothing for, but that's why we left some spaces to do the encounters next time. Like, on paper I could be using the Apple Evolution quite early on as my Dragon type, which I probably want to take from that Hills area. The Apple Hills, if you want. That's going to be, I think, my best bet for an encounter. Right, so at the end of the day, I won't really mind if Poochyena dies in this battle. If I need to, I might have to do some work around it. But I just need to, like, this part of the game, for this type of challenge is partially why I'm not overly keen on Nuzlocke, because it is just grinding. And I don't want to do any of this challenge not on stream. So there is that as well. What are we up to? We're up to level 12. Do we think the things I battle in the next area are going to be low level? They are just going to be bugs, so it's whether I have the patience to grind them up to the top levels, really, isn't it? Right, we must have learned something new by now. Nope, of course not. Have you learned anything new? Nope, of course not. I don't need to worry about the rest. But what do you think about my idea here with this Nuzlocke? Do you think it'll be a good idea or not? As we said, like, it's mainly just to mix up the DAs a little bit, because we've done like a month and a half of DAs, and I think you know yourself, sometimes they can be exhausting to do when things aren't going right, when you get the dry spell, shinies. I could, but that would take a lot of time to do it shinies. And I think if we were bigger, we could do shinies. Maybe that would be the way to put it, because the idea would be we can do the hunting and then we can chat, rather than sometimes like from where I am at the moment, I sometimes will have 4 or 5 viewers. 4 or 5 viewers are just watching. It's quite difficult to just talk while shiny hunting. But if you're just flowing, it doesn't really matter too much as such how long it's taking, which is what the next shiny challenge will be for. Shall we see if there are any funky outbreaks? No. So it's only going to show the things I've seen or battled. I don't even... Oh yeah, I did battle that. I forgot. So we've gone to Kitakami. I don't want to go and talk to that person again because it might take me the wrong direction. Welcome in, ironically. How are you today? Yeah, we said we're not going to do the story until we know our next type. Because if we know our next type, then we can target some stuff we need to round it off a bit. Because I think we'll be fine with this team, right? Right, what do we want to... Do we want to put somebody else in the back? So they're level 12, so that's an 8 and a 9. That's 14. I think it's better just to put the weakest things in the back, just to level up. I might keep Poor Me and Igglybuff for friendship. But I think we can go and do this battle now. I think we'll be alright. We can just do the trial and see what level we're at. Because I'm happy, again, I won't be using any of the other team members. I will only be using the 2 dark types for this bit. When I do the gym boss, I will take everyone out of the party. But I'm more excited to actually see what the next types are going to be. Because we know that the bug types can be difficult against the dark type team, but we had to go for Houndour. It was the only way we were going to really stand a chance. Right, more talking, of course. We need all the hand holding to get through this game, because otherwise we'll never make it. But as we said, the one thing that's a bit annoying is the tracker, and I've got a little bit of an idea of what I can do, but I'll get to that. The thing is, it's difficult again to keep on top of because it's all pictures, and it would be needed to upload in each picture rather than just the web browser. So that's why we're sort of stuck with that list like it is. But if either of you do want to come and help with these extremely challenging raids, once we finish this one, we'll get 2 raids. I know we mentioned that we would catch the Titans as statics. I'm thinking I don't really need to go and catch the Titans until I need to catch the Titans, if that makes sense. So if like I don't get rock type, I don't need to run and get Cloth, really, do I? I can just do that a bit later. The same with Bombardier. Like if I get flying, I don't even need to catch the Bombardier till we're at the Elite 4 really. So there is that to remember. But we can still just go and get them all eventually. It's more just, we've got to be careful because of the Nuzlocke rules and how easy you are. Not always easy things are to catch. But what Pokemon would you like us to add to our teams? I'm quite happy to try all sorts. Like I've used most things a couple of times during runs on these games, so I know there's a few things that can completely wall Pokemon. So like the Poison Gym gets walled by Bronzong. The Fire Starbase gets walled by a Litwick. So there's that. So the reality is I'm going to do... No. Okay. That wasn't meant to happen that well. Ba-ba-da. So I actually broke this about 3 times doing these. So it's not that I'm bad at it, it's just that it's very buggy. Okay, I shouldn't have been able to do that, I don't think. I just want to do these battles, really. That's the only reason I'm here, is to do the battles, because I might as well level up properly. I'm hoping this doesn't move my olive over here. It's happy where it is. What do you have? You have a cricketer. That's not great. So bug is neutral on a hound tower, right? And it's a lot higher level than I thought it would be. Oof. Growl, okay. Growl. Wasn't too happy with that. Pop. Might be a free shot, isn't it? Tackle. Wow, that hits hard. That should not hit that hard, surely. Okay. That was probably scarier than it needed to be. So this is the thing, I just want to level up some of the backup ones in this. That's why we sort of kept them in and around the team. We can quickly heal up our hound hour. If we lose the hound hour, we are not going to enjoy. I don't think we even get past the first gym. We can still go and get some more dark types, I think. But because we've got the hound arrow, there wasn't much point in changing much. So this is the last battle. I only got 2-2, so I can just terror against this one. I'm not too worried. Because I'll be properly healing before Katie. You know what I didn't get? My guide. Where is my guide? Now, a couple of months ago, I said I was doing a Soul Link, and I made like this massive guide of level caps of everything in each area, just to be a bit easier. So I know not to over level things like, so like for example, we've still got the south area free, and when it comes to kit, we can maybe have a look around the first part of the west area, because that should be 13 to 20 those levels. But when it comes to Kitagami, we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 more potential locations for encounters, so that would be very helpful. Poisoned? That's no good, is it? We don't want to be poisoned. Luckily we win, but wait, isn't that only the 3rd gym? Is that the... I swear that's the 3rd gym. Like, you've got to do all the slow grinding. I forget that you're on the annoying game as such. Okay, so we've beaten both of these. Like, I will probably have to do one more level before we start this fight. I could be on level 15, like, there's no harm in it. That's kind of what we said. Level cap will also be in place, with like a few exceptions for the Elite Four, as long as I'm level at the start. But because we're doing raids, I can level things up that might be behind. We'll be doing a lot of Chansey and Blissey raid outbreaks, battling, XP farming, whatever you want to use it. Can you go the right way, please, Leo? There we go, we scored. So before we take on Katie, we are going to do at least one more level. I think it's a bit too risky at level 13. Yes, they're only bugs, and I will terror, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's probably the best wording for it. Because the worst thing that could happen is if we lose on fight 1. But we'll see. Right, as we said, we're not going to go straight into that battle. Oh, I need to heal you. Why did you get poisoned? I know, we're going to run round to the Poker Center anyway. I want to know whether you can do all of the trials before you do the gym battles. That makes sense. Or if I go to the next gym, we'll have to do the olives again. Hello, Dragon. Welcome in. How's it going? We've done a little bit of leveling up. Pretty much all we've done so far. I was not high enough level to really jump straight into the Katie fight, considering she is level 15. I just don't want to risk it too early. I want to get my Hound Hour to at least 14, maybe go all the way to 15. And while we're doing this stuff, I'm just going to keep some things that can evolve in the squad, basically. Nice, nice. We didn't end up getting any shinies yesterday, sadly, in our DAs. But it was quite comical, because as soon as you left, somebody else with the name Dragon joined. So we had 2 dragons, back to back. We did a ton of Landorus, but we didn't get... I don't think anybody got a shiny for any of the Pokemon, so it wasn't too good. Where are things that are easy to beat? There are Combies, they'll do. And I got the back strike, as they say. Very good. Well, we're not going to flat out shiny hunt. If we find a shiny, it will be added. No questions asked. I'm not going to be picky and go, I cannot use shinies, because I won't be replacing things for shinies, because that could screw up the whole system. But we're not shiny hunting on this one. Flat out, no proper shiny hunting. It's if we find it, we will use it. Otherwise, it's just a Pokemon. I had the same rule for most of my Nuzlockes in the past. A shiny clause, never replacing, just adding. I think that's the fair way to do it. I don't want to ruin the enjoyment for me, because I could have, just say for example I found a shiny Yangoose in Inlet Grotto. I don't want to get rid of my Hound Hour, it's not really fair, because I need it for other things. So you've got a new anime called The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Very interesting. Are you watching most of that on like Crunchyroll or other streaming services? Or is it on the high seas? See, I really have been struggling to sit and watch TV shows recently. Considering I tend to do them for reviewing purposes, I just never really enjoy it at the moment. I don't know what the problem is. I think the main reason is I love discussing things I watch, and I don't find enough people who really want to talk about them anymore. Well, that's what it's always been known as. Because, like, the problem is it does ruin the industry. But then if it's locked behind one of like 7 potential streaming services, it's not quite as bad. But it's when it's small, like independent movies, it's quite troublesome that people use those sites. That's the best way to put it. Fair enough. I know certain sites that are designed, like, I think there was one that was pretty much designed to show all of the Pokemon episodes, and there was one for The Simpsons. So. And it's different, like, when the material is old, or 2 or plus years old, it's a bit more free reign, I always find. Because it's sort of like, well, if you're not making it available on every streaming service, it's not fair on the consumer. There's a movie I love called 28 Days Later, and until they announced the new one coming out later this year, it was not available on a single streaming service. So, and now suddenly it's been snapped up to one streaming service and a brand new DVD release of it, or special Blu-ray, or whatever it's going to be called, because it wasn't even being made anymore. Yeah, that's not too bad though, is it? Like, another way of looking at that is, you look at that Shiny Dex website, like, that little bit of money for the Pro version gives them a chance to do a little bit more things to the website, which is kind of nice. But they also have to offer a free model just so it's a little bit user-friendly for people that want to try it a bit. I know, like Letterboxd, which is like a movie database one, is kind of the same. Right. But then if you look at it the other side, if you're a big Star Wars Marvel fan, there's very little excuse why you don't have Disney Plus now, because you get everything there. If you don't have the physical releases, you should be supporting Disney Plus, if that's like the main thing you like to watch. Because I used to get a lot of physical releases, but I've rarely stopped buying them for monetary reasons are the main reason. Well, I used to buy, I've still got tons, but I can't do much with them. But when you go to watch something, like another film I went to watch recently was called The Devil's Backbone, which is an absolutely phenomenal Spanish horror movie, and it was nowhere to be found on any streaming service, so I had to actually dust off the DVD for it. Yeah, there are some that do that. That's the thing. Like, the thing is, the more popular they become, the easier they are to close down. But a lot of them do this thing where here's a link to watch it through something else rather than the website is hosting it almost. I know it's not YouTube, but it's the equivalent of putting like YouTube links up. We can do a couple more. We're nearly there. I'm hoping people are going to have some funky nicknames lined up for our new team members. Because as we say, once we beat Kaylee, we spin the wheel of destiny. And pray that it's not ice, because I still don't think I can do ice. I'm pretty confident I can't do ice. So ice will be the free reroll. I think I might be able to catch a Swiner, but I can't guarantee the level. But then, if that's the only ice available, I can't really do. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, because then technically they're not hosting it, they're sharing it, so you can't block someone for sharing it. The thing is, it's so easy to do, and like there's always this everything costs more discussion, etc, etc, which again I will say I don't like the number of streaming services. I'm anti the number of streaming services. But the reality is that's all they really offer us now. I think more of them should be more contained. So Disney should be cheaper in Amazon, for example, or Netflix should have Apple TV presented in there to tie in together. Like, the only one I know that does it properly is if you have like Sky Q, you get Paramount Plus free. So, right. So we're going to actually do something we don't usually do when I do challenges, and that's maybe use berries. And I have an Aurum berry. I'm going to give it to the Houndour, just in case. Right, we'll take the rest of the party out. As we said, we're only using the 3 team members. We can't take anyone in, just in case, because that will be potentially altering the outcome. So let's go and face Katie. We've got everything. I can only put one more level on the Houndour. I don't think it learns a better fire move. We are going to Terra, so we should be fine. That's the only thing we can say. But I'm just more excited to actually get to the wheel to see what's next. So for example, if we got normal, and we may not actually do too much, because we might be able to try and cheese the Lechonk and Igglybuff, but we can see. We'll probably take the free hit on the raid, which we said we get. But right, wish me luck and see if we can beat this trainer. See, this is where if you had never played the game or never seen the game, learning that the ace is not the normal typing is where it gets more interesting in these games. Like, I liked what they did with Brassius. I think that was the best, because obviously Sudowoodo becomes a grass type but has a rock move, so if you are taking fire or flying and it has sturdy, it's going to get you quite badly. This one's not too interesting because it's just a Teddiursa. It's not really that exciting, if we're honest. Iona has a great one, but I don't think the rest really have too good or interesting enough Terra variants. I don't think personally. So there's that. Ooh. Right, as we say, we're going to Terra. But Nimble would be a lovely addition. I will say that. But then that's another dark type, which we don't quite currently need. Let's go. We have to do this really. At least it's not Dynamaxing, so I don't have to plan when we do this. See, I was tempted to try something similar on Sword and Shield, but again, you don't really have enough battles to do this in Sword and Shield. I know you could probably put an argument to the case of maybe doing the hop battles, like adding up to the mix, but it's a difficult one to really fit everything in. So this is going as well as I expected. I do also have a guide that tells me all of their moves, so as I said, I got a bit carried away. Yeah, the water one is a good idea. I really did like the choice of Pokemon. I just think they should have put an ice move on it as well. Like, if it had an ice move, you would probably be scared. That's the wrong guide. Which guide do I want? This one. Yes, yeah. But the other side of that would be you wouldn't have, like, because most people or a lot of people would take a grass type for that gym, and the ice move would be really good, like countering it. Like, the other side of it would have been to see something with a ground move to like get your electric types as well. So there were a couple of things that could have really worked out nicely, but they didn't quite follow through with that, did they? Right, so early game, we have now beaten this one. So, as we say, we beat the first gym. Lovely, that was very easy. I'm happy how easy that went. I wasn't really expecting it to be difficult, let's be honest. It was a pretty easy gym. But now we have to get something up ready to use. Da, 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 da. We have the first badge. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We get a TM for Pounce, nice. No worries, no worries. Right. Bye, Katie. See you around. Katie is my lazy answer at the Elite Four because I can't be bothered to actually learn certain things. So now we got the first badge. That's good. So our next level cap is 16. So we will have potentially 2 fully evolved Pokemon, well, middle evolution starters, because we have the Chimchar and the Free Cocoa. So let's see what the Wheel of Destiny is going to give us for our next typing. This is where it gets exciting, I believe. Sorry, my mouse is a pain in the ass. Let's spin. Okay, well. Spin. Fighting. The wheel is being a bit troublesome at the moment, I'm not going to lie. But we do get fighting. So, let's switch the wheel off. So, we have a few options here. The first option is quite clearly we can bring back in Chimchar and Pormy. That's 2. So we could actually go and get a Mankey, which is different. Because we know that we can do the west area. But I can also get a Mankey in Kitakami. I'm scared to face cloth with these 2. If I'm honest, again, it's a fire type against a rock type. It's not pretty. You probably would rather do a little bit of setup work on it. I'm going to just put that away for now. Because we definitely don't need Poochyena again for a long time. Until the end of the game, really. So that can sit in the back corner. I probably just want to get this evolved. We'll get this leveled up a bit more. And you know what? We'll get this one leveled up a bit more. So now we've got to go and do some encounters. So I think the first thing we should do is probably go to Kitakami. Right? We'll have a look at the Kitakami encounters. Right, so we know we've done this Kitakami Road. We can do one here, for sure. That's one we have not done yet, which is Reveler's Road, I believe it's called. Yes, that's Reveler's Road. Where that map? And we can continue to follow that up, right up, and do this bit here, the Oni Mountain, and the Oni Muir. Right, yes, so they should only go up to about level 17. So we don't really want to catch the level 17s, but the ones below it are okay. Meanwhile, we can do Apple Hills, and I feel like it would be really stupid to miss out on an opportunity to get a fully evolved Apple Pokemon. Probably Appleton, I think, is probably best. The main reason I would go Appleton over Diplin or Hydra Apple is I won't be able to use Hydra Apple until the end game, so it seems a bit naive to do that. Now I can't go in this area yet because they should be level 18 to 22ish, so I don't really want to touch that area yet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 potential encounters here. Now we also said we're allowed 1 Terra Raid per location. So we could look at one of them here. Admit that's going to be difficult, that one, I think. Maybe I could get to that one. So yeah, let's go and do these encounters. Are we open to suggested nicknames? I've said that this one makes the most sense that I just get the apple. the apple is going to be strong. That's the main reason why. I think this will be the best choice. Let's just heal everybody. I doubt I need to, but why not? Now, because you also get the apple stuff, and I probably, as I say, would rather have apple ton than apple flapple or diplin. And we also have to remember the level cap will be 16, so Chimchar should evolve. And that's pretty much all we can do. I don't want to do this Kieran fight though, because Kieran is going to be a little bit tougher than it needs to be at this stage. I think. Anyway, let's just double check. What is Kieran's team for the second one? Yeah, it's 15 Poliwag, 16 Yanma, and a Ferret. That's not going to be pretty against this team, to be honest. I can save these for a bit later anyway, most of these. So now, this bit is actually quite hard to actually see an Applin. Like, I don't want to take the Terra one on, to be honest, because that will just be, I forgot what the type is, but it's not the type I really want. The one good thing is there's a couple of repeats here, so if I did run into the wrong thing, it's not the worst thing that happens. Because we've got a Swaddle and we've got a Poochyena. So if we hit one of those two, it's fine. But why is there no apples here? Where are my apples? Hello, Poochyena. The Ekans and Bellsprout will really mess up my plans. But I know this is probably worth searching for this over anything else. Why am I not seeing a single one? They used to be haunting me in these bushes, or in these apple trees. Just like they are in Pokemon Go at the moment. They're everywhere. Let's see, where's our apple? Where is our apple? Come on, there it is. Come here. What? That's a lot higher level than I was expecting as well. Right, we'll just throw a Pokeball at it. It should be fine, right? May not be. Nope, okay. Withdraw, okay. So that's good. So it will survive a fire attack. If we lose it, we lose it. I forgot to change the moves because they were all done the wrong way. Oops. So I need this more than anything else. So I'm going to actually swap to you. So one of the other options I could look at is actually a... what's it called? Makahita. That is something we could try. I think this only has withdrawal, which is quite interesting. So we'll try another Pokeball. We bought loads for this very reason. But does anybody have a good nickname for an Appleton? As I said, I will make this an Appleton rather than a Flapple. Or we get a new one. No worries. How good is the special? Am I a special attacker? Yes. So we can get rid of Ember. Did you want to think of a nickname for our Appleton? I'm going to make it an Appleton, so... I don't know what that is, boy from Belgium. Let's be honest, I'm guessing it's... We'll just call this Apple Pie for now. Cake and Dinosaur, okay. Wouldn't that be El Creamy's name? Right, which apple evolves this into an Appleton? I forgot it. I don't think I've actually found any yet, but there's usually loads around here, isn't there? Apple and juice. The sweet apple. Okay. Let's do it. They're usually all over the place here. The leperberry. Don't really need that yet. I think we should do this terror raid if I'm honest. Because then we've done everything on... Of course it's the wrong one. Everything on this side of the map before the next gym. That makes sense, right? There we go, a sweet apple. Let's put that in the team. Quickly evolve it. And then it can go and sit in the back of the party because it's at the level cap. And it can actually get some moves. Where are they? Sweet apple. Who is the planned last member of the team, or is that the Miltank? Because I didn't think you could get Miltank before Whitney. Lovely. So this is the bulky boy. This is going to help us a lot. Especially when we have the dragon gym, as long as it's not against the ice boss, we'll be fine. But we can't really use it much now, because it's going to be, well, as I say, it's a very bulky team member. The other thing we need to do is teach this some moves, because it has no moves. I always forget that they don't learn the moves when they level up this way. Nice Nuzzle. Nuzzle's going to be huge. Could even use that against Cloth, actually. Just to paralyse it. Give us a chance. I'm not too worried about that, or that, or... Okay, that'll be fine. Right, let's go and see what this terror raid is. Because there's only one in the apple area, which is... Trying to remember the controls, because every game changes the controls. It's here. Right. And this will be the one Kitakami raid we do. I guess you must have got the right gender. I always end up getting tricked by the cute charm whenever I do that battle. If you ever want to hunt, what's it called? Sentret, this is a very good place to do it. Oh, a buggy. And what's that type? That normal type. Anybody want to help with some of these raids? Or not? Today. So we can just sweep them easily? Or shall I just sweep it? I don't like how close this thing wants to get to me. To be honest, that far it is getting very, very close. Change my Pokemon. I'm not going to use Chimchar. It's not much help. Okie dokie, thank you. I feel like this might be quite good because it's a bug type. Bug and poison type. I will do challenge as a group. Right, yeah, that's the one. It's been a while since we've done this, like 3 days probably. I've forgotten what I'm doing. Spinarak is kind of one I would wanted on my team as well, so that fills up bug and poison. So this is the one bit that sort of left me in the middle with the terror raids, because I'm somebody who would be quite happy to go and do all of the 1-star raids around the map to do all the location, rather than when I've got 7 badges, for example, they're going to be quite high level, they're going to be difficult raids for my team, my current team. Like if people join fly through them, no problems. More horror Mickey Mouse movies, eh? But I'm immune to the poison, so that's the good thing. And thank you for helping out on these. We are going to go and do one around cloth as well. I'm also thinking, if I do go and get the Makahita, I could actually save those other encounters for a little bit later. Because I will have 3 fighting types for that battle. With Chimchar, well, Monferno. Poor me, maybe Pormot. I don't know whether it evolves. What level it evolves, I forgot. And if Makahita, I don't mind losing, if that makes sense. Do I get a move in? That's the question. Do I get a move in? Nope. Lovely. GG's. See, why can't the Dynamax adventures be this easy? But this is, like, it's nice that you're helping with these, but this is kind of my example of why these raids are not as fun to do all day like the Dynamax adventures, because you get one Pokemon, it can be a struggle to beat them, like high level, not these level ones, and at the end of the day it's just not as interactive. Like, you can see bugs in these as well, which can be a bit annoying. But what shall we call our spider? Yeah, I imagine they're pretty low for now. Like when I did my Forever Lock Nuzlocke, I actually went round and did all of the level 12 ones, every location, because the idea is just to get everything boxed away. So, Freds. That's how we spell Freds. Pokedex number 1. Okay. After seeing if we get anything with marks on. But as I said, I don't think I should touch the other area yet. Like, yes, they'll be low level, but if I just go and get Makahita, I'll be fine for what I've got available to me. There's no point overdoing the fighting types. I don't even think there is any fighting types over here. Well, there might be, because I think there's a Heracross. But Heracross will be quite difficult to beat. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in the mountainsides and inside, because I probably will need to keep Swine up for the ice type whenever we get to using ice. So that seems like the best thing to do, is just hold it back a little bit longer. We'll go there eventually. Let's get back to this map, because we've got 2 encounters here. We've got like the whole of this area and a raid encounter. So let's do that. That makes the most sense. As I said, I think for what we've got here, we get like Charcadet, which I don't really need another fire type at the moment, so I don't need to go Charcadet. I don't really want to use Shinx because I've used it on so many different things recently. I'm bored of seeing Shinx. Spoink is an interesting one because it's bulky. There's Rookadies, Gulpin, but I'm pretty sure like Makahita is going to be the best pick for here, if I'm honest. So that's what I think we're going to have to go for. And then we have 3 fighting types for Cloth. I also know that Cloth is quite difficult to deal with because of its ability. So one of the things I might do is sort of bulk up with... Mankey is an option too, yes. My only reason I don't want to go for Mankey quite yet is I would want to go to the west area for that. And I'm sort of trying to restrict myself to 3 for Titans in the squad. I don't really want to lose Mankey yet because I want to use the Annihilate if I can. That's my main reasoning for not doing that one yet. It's definitely on the list to be part of the team though, in the long run. That's the thing. But if I lose the Mankey, I can't use the Annihilate, which will be a bit frustrating. If I lose the Makahita, so what? That's kind of my attitude for this thing. It's not like the most difficult thing to beat, but it's got bulk up, it's got good physical. Right, it should be able to take an Ember, shouldn't it? Yeah. Don't like that though. Knowing my luck, the first den I run into will be a Makahita as well. It is hard hitting, yeah, but I won't need a fighting type until endgame. That's the other thing we've got to remember, because we've got it here. So if I lose it, I lose it. I can get another fighting type at some point throughout the game. Again, Mankey would become my third fighting type. Because remember, when we do the Elite Four, we do a double roll, but I'm only allowed to use 3 of each typing for the pairs. So I've got to remember that. So I don't need 4 or 5. I don't want too many mono-type Pokemon, and I know I've just caught one here, but that's kind of how I've been looking at how I'm picking my teams. Like, majority of stuff needs to be dual typings. If it is like a solo typing like this, if I'm gonna lose something, I'm more likely to give this up. Yeah, that's why I got Chimchar, Poor Me, and I've got this now. So them sort of my main 3. With Mankey, I can go over 3, just point that out. So for example, say I did roll Fire and Fighting for one of the Elite Four endgame bosses. I could nominate Chimchar or Infernape as the Fire type, not the Fighting type, if I thought my Fighting types were better. Okay, Sumo it is. I'm going to call it Sumo with a 0 though. Actually, I needed to add that to the team, didn't I? But that's like my thinking of just to. Like, I don't want to. I probably should do the end game with like 1 Pokemon if we're on it, like 1 type. But because there's 9 fights exactly, it makes sense to split them up in my head. Right, I'll probably just put Pumba away for now. I'll put you up to number 3. Right, so we are going to have to do a little bit of grinding here. We have got some like candies and stuff, but I've got to be careful. We'll go and have a look at this raid. As we said, 1 raid wherever the next boss is on this area. Which one should we do? Should we do that one? Or should we do that? That one looks like it's a long way away actually. Might not even be in this area. But it's just, this is a difficult area really to find the best all-round team. I don't know if I can get to that. Let's see. Let's have a look at the map. Can I get to that? I don't think I can. Where else is there a raid here? There's a fire one at the end. Really? And that's definitely not the same area. So we are going to see if we can get here. I think I can up here. It's a bit of a long jump, but I think I've done it before. Probably can do it again. Let's see. Yeah, because I went round doing these. Okay, it is a bit of a longer jump. Just okay. Because we were doing the swords. I feel like I'm cheesing it by taking all the swords, because like if I get them all, it's 4 dark types. So I might restrict myself to only allowing myself their secondary type or 1 dark type if we use it for the bosses. Because again, I do also want to do Blueberry with the same like 2 Pokemon teams. A Saskit, nice. Right. I'll open up the group and then pick my Pokemon. If you do want help with this one as well, it is open. Well, it is opening. I will change it. I'm not taking a fire type until this. We'll take the Wingull. Haven't used Wingull yet. See, part of me wants to just roll the dice for the next one, just to go and do the encounters, but it seems a bit, not so much cheating, but a bit over the top to go too far ahead. Like we said, we don't want to fly before we can walk in this game. I could update the tracker after this, actually. I've got to put in 4 Pokemon, I think. But Surskit's actually a lot better, like, well, Masquerain. If I can get Quiver-Dance, it could be very devastating late game against the right type. So I'm not too worried with this one. I like this as my encounter. It's one of the Pokemon that you wouldn't go, I want to use that. But if you get it as like a raid encounter, it's like, actually, I can work with this. And it being a fire type, not great, I'll be honest, because most of its weaknesses are the same. Like rock is still there. Grass is, I think it's neutral against grass, isn't it? So I didn't even get to do the attack. The Quaquaval. Here it is, the Dancing King. And that's got your Moxley, hasn't it? Pop. Hello, Kim. Welcome in. How are you today? Would you like to name our new little bug? Or not? As we say, every Pokemon is open to a suggestion of nicknames. It is rather warm again, I will say. But I was saying yesterday that I kind of got into a weird... the room I spend most of the time doing these in very rarely gets the sun until late evening, so I'm not usually okay. Right. What do we go and beat up here? Because Leshonks? Should we go and beat up Leshonks? The fighting type, or maybe actually, I don't know. I don't think there's a cloth we can beat up. So we're going to call this bug Leo. Okay. Thank you for the follow. Simeon. Welcome in to my TypeLocke challenge, where we're trying to beat each badge with a different typing selected at random. We're just doing a couple of our new encounters. Now, we have a few little set rules where we do a raid in the area of the next boss battle and one in Kitakami. So there we go. There is Kim's bug called Leo. But I also need to figure out how to train these up. Because, yeah, they're a bit weak. And I've got to use fighting types against cloth. So I've got a nice team at the moment, I think. So we're going to be using Chimble, it should be Monferno. If this evolves, I can't remember when Pawmi evolves, and a Makihita. They're my 3 I can use, but as we said, we need to train them. Actually, we could just beat up Naclees, couldn't we? Okay, I forgot I'm not riding Miraidon. This is only the second day of doing this challenge, so most of the first day was preparing for it, really getting to the first gym. Because there's a lot of encounters, a lot of horrible, horrible cutscenes that are really, really boring, that I don't want to do again. So we spent like 3 hours doing the encounters and the cutscenes and stopped just before the Katie battle. I do have to be careful here to actually make sure I'm in a battle when I do some of this leveling up. Right, you have arm thrusts, that'll do. Pop. Pop. Do I get 3 goes? Or just the 2? I should have used fake out, shouldn't I? Okay, it's hardening. Of course it wants to make it more difficult for me. This is the bit that, as we always say with Nuzlocke, can be a little bit boring. But, hey, it's part of the process. Well, as we said, we're also using Nuzlocke rules for this. So, no over-leveling. Whoop. Probably go to this Pokestop after this. Did that even hit it? That's not doing anything, is it? It really has made itself strong. Right. I do need to swap for safety. Fine, we'll use Armless. He should tank a move or 2, right? It doesn't help that it has increased its defense quite a lot. So, we should take a hit, right? We're not that weak. Rock throw, pop. Okay, that's fine. And then we can use this back on it. Pop. Lovely. I don't currently have anything in this game. I'm on Violet myself. Sorry. If I was playing Scarlet, I could go and get them, but not today. I'm not on it. No. Do you have like the online version of everything?
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great,
Thank
right?
you for the hydrate. Oh, more instructions. I don't like the instructions they keep telling me about. Because like if you found someone with Scarlet, they could actually just take you to those Pokemon and you can catch them. Have you tried some of the trade codes that go around as well, by any chance? Because there's certain like codes that should be... I forgot who gets paired with what though, especially with the Fluttermane and the Sandy Shocks. Do you have a copy of Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, or Legends Arceus and Home at all? Because obviously that's how you could get yourself Stunky. I know Stunky is a nightmare. For the fun facts of it, Stunky was the last Pokemon I got in my Violet run through for the Pokedex. I just couldn't find anyone that wanted to trade. If I was actually on my other save, I probably could get it all up, but I don't have the DLC on Scarlet, so that's why I'm using Violet today. Well, this was a lot higher level than I thought it would be. We'll do this to start with. How are things today, Kim, other than hot? Are you stuck at the colleges again, or are you out and about? Pop pop. Pop pop. And are you looking forward to the birthday as well? I know you said it was very soon. I forgot the exact date. There's a lot of birthdays coming up, isn't there, at the moment? Nice. It's always good to get out. I try to get my fresh air before the pollen level gets too high, because randomly... ooh, that's not good. Randomly, my sinuses play up when when the weather changes a lot. We did win at least. So that is on Sunday. So, Saturday. Did Igglybuff want to evolve? So not long to go. And it'll all be ready. I hope you enjoy yourself. Are you going to pubs or just general day out sort of thing? I know you didn't really fancy the idea of a pub, but it's still a pub. I don't really like fighting Necklace, but bowling, okay. Yes. You can't. You can't what, bowl? Or what? At least this one was easier. No. Oh, I thought we were dodging then. No, it's not always the best place to go. But then Saturday is the FA Cup final, so you might have just gone to watch the football or something as well. And that's something you can do at the pub. That one was okay. We figured out we could do a fake out. Oh yes. Well, there is football on. I'm pretty sure we can all laugh at Arsenal if Newcastle beat Arsenal on Sunday. Arsenal might not come second in the so-called two-horse race. Because it'll be all in Newcastle's hands if they win that game. It'll be quite funny to watch. As we said, this is kind of like the slower part of the game, because I've just got to do a little bit of leveling up. It's not the most intense gameplay. This is the one reason why I don't like doing Nuzlocke, because the grinding is boring. Force Palm is helpful though. Now I believe this paralyzes, right? May also paralyze, but it hits a lot harder. I thought we could learn something else. Nice. At least that's one that's nice and easy to see. It's the Espeon one. Yeah, we're a long way from probably doing that next raid, because what are we level wise? Two 14s and a 13. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch Cloth until we're level 16. This one I can go and beat up. But I'm not going to fight. No, no. Don't have you learned the fighting move now, Chimchar? That's the thing I've got to check. No, that Fury Swipes, that's okay. Actually, do you know Bulk Up yet? Because that was my main plan for this fight, was you knowing Bulk Up. No, you don't. Great. Yes, Kim. What shall we go? There's a guy online. Okay. We do that one. He's 5 hours behind you, so someone in America. As good as. Yeah, that sounds about right. And what has this American done? That is the question. What has the American done? Oh, there's some more sandwich ingredients. This will be helpful later. That means he's doing streaming well, right? If he's super funny. I'm not mistaken. That's how it works. Oh, so that's up to level 14. Okay. It is slightly worrying, the number of people like, I'm not sure where you would have met the person, if that makes sense. You. Oh, we can take you one. You're only that. We'll just use this. I think this should knock it out. Okay. And are they the same age as you? Or older? Younger? Because that's something that could be considered good or bad, shall we say. Fair enough. So does that mean you're going... It's difficult when you are speaking to people online because they are so far away. We're not going to say, it's good. Oh, no, 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 no. I need to be in a battle next one. Right, we've got to pay attention here. Otherwise we won't get the evolutions. Right. Yeah. But whereabouts did you meet this person then? The thing is, as we said to you before, it's sort of, you're at this sort of position where you just should go out, enjoy things. You shouldn't try to make things more difficult with things like long distance stuff, like, because people online are going to be very different depending on the days. We'll worry about that later. That might evolve. Nope. We basically just want to keep that in the team for... Because it sounds like you quite often let your heart jump quite quickly. That makes sense. Like, sometimes it's easier to just take a step back and just be friends, and then, depending on what goes on, then do more things. Because, like, if you do too much, you'll get upset that nothing really happened, and if you do other way around, you'll be like, well, I thought this was, like, more than it should have been. Because as we said before, like, a lot of it is things are going to come and go so quickly. You won't realise a lot of it, so just make the most of it, sort of thing. We have a Monferno. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And it should learn a fighting move. Nice. Right. Got to be careful here, because now we've got 2 level 16s, and that is our level cap for this battle. So you are just going to sit there, and you are going to sit there. Right, we can still do a little bit on this. I missed the chance to evolve that stupidly. We'll put LeChonk in the team, why not? And Tink. Right, we're going to probably try to level this up, I think. It learned dig. That could be helpful. Actually. I'll probably keep quick attack better than scratch. So this could be a good backup one for this fight. Right, we'll keep this team. And we're just going to get Timon to level. What level did we just say? The next level. Right, probably could just take on some Shinx, I guess. We have Dig, remember? That'll do all the damage. Yeah, so once this is level 16, we will get into the cloth battle. The one good thing here is, as soon as we finish the cloth battle, the next level cap is 17, which is Brassius. So that is also pretty good. So we can probably jump straight into the next battle. How far away are you from leveling up? Where is that XP? Yeah, we'll do one of these then. It does have a ground move, so it's a little bit riskier. But I don't think it will one-shot us. And I've got Dig to hit it with. So that's the plan. See, part of me would rather actually use Poor Me to start against Cloth, so I could paralyze it. But then I think Force Palm could also paralyze it, which would be kind of cool. But it will start powering up quite quickly on us. So we've got to be a little bit cautious of that. But I think if it hits me, it's going to hurt me. That's something I need to be careful of. Well, and that's evolved. We'll teach it you all, why not? We'll get rid of that. That could be a very, very helpful Pokemon. Our Crocodile. But we can't keep that on the team now because it is level 17, which is Brassius' level cap if we get fire. So we've got to be careful with that one. It would be very fitting if we got fire against the grass type. Again, it will be something where we may not need to run and get anything because we have 3 fire types. One other thing I'm sort of doing, but I haven't really mentioned, is I'm trying to keep everything match the teams. Yes or no, as in what you should do. Well, it's very difficult because, as I said, you're young. The reality is you probably could not afford to do anything more than talk online. Realistically, could you? So there's that side of it you should look at. No. What's a yes or no then? Probably no. Let's see. Can we find a Shinx? Oh, we'll just take one another Knackly. We did get it. Can take a hit. Because we did officially get our very, very first payout from Twitch yesterday into our PayPal, which was a very nice achievement. So we've had lots of good support. Mostly, I think a lot to come from you, Kim. But that's our first milestone. That does hurt a lot. This is a bit risky to go for this again, isn't it? But why not? Okay, a rock polish, that's fine. If that's all it's doing, that's okay. Well, it's the threshold to get paid is $50. I don't know the complete split because the ad money is a large chunk of it. Like, I think subs are about 3/4 of it, and I think I've only had 4 sub/gift subs that weren't you. If that makes sense. the rest have all been you? Because I think you've subbed personally for 2 months, haven't you? And you've gifted at least 3, maybe 4 subs, I think. So like I've had 9 subs altogether since we started, and I think 4 were other people. You were the 5 were gifted as well. I think that was how it works. Or maybe it was we've had 10 and you were 6 and the others were 4. Maybe. But the thing you'll notice, especially even doing it yourself, is some of the subs won't be as round like as often. Like people are going to come and go. So there's always that to remember. Like we all know that. Like today's a perfect example. I'm not doing DAs, so I don't have as many people in. Like I've got Dragon, who's here pretty much every day now, and you try your hardest to get here. But when we do DAs, you get a lot more random people coming in because they see a chance to do the interactive side of games. Boy from Belgium comes in to say hello, see how things are. Exactly, but then people's interests can change a lot. Like, I've seen people who were playing Pokemon religiously, and now they've stopped and they do other games. So, it happens. Like, you're going to see it for whatever you're going to do. So it's just sort of remembering that you're always presenting to a potential new audience, but you still got to be thankful for the ones you've got already. That's where it's quite difficult in the middle. And like some people are more interested in certain things you're doing than others. Like you would probably see yourself, there are some people that would love your Minecraft stuff and what you're doing on Minecraft. They might think it's absolutely brilliant. And then the next day you play Fortnite and they're not interested. And that's not that you're bad, it's just their choice of what they like. And like that's why it's quite difficult to really keep going, because you see people come and go. Add in the fact that it is now summer for most of the Northern Hemisphere. People are going to want to spend more time outside. In the winter is when you're going to get your boom. Like, I don't really stream for the best to get the most people. Like yesterday was a very strange day because pretty much everybody I was doing the DAs with had not been in streams before. But I did an evening stream and met a whole load of new people, which was nice. It was interesting. So that's the other side of it as well. I only did the evening one because I was out during the day. But I thought, why not? And yeah, you meet new people. Like there's like, and then because you sort of like Boy from Belgium, Corey, Robin, they're all people I could do DAs with here, but I could also go in their stream and do the DAs. There are other people as well that we can do each other's streams. Like you yourself, you go in like Dan's and Ray's, and then you'll play some games with them, but they won't play the games with you on yours yet. Like Ray might, but I can't see like Dan doing it at the moment unless you're streaming the game that you're playing with him. That makes sense. So that's like the little things that you will pick up on. Like, so I think we are going to be okay with this team. I'm not the most confident in it, but it has potential. So Igglybuff, you can go there. That's this button, isn't it? Yes. Gotta remember the buttons. And that's the thing, you've got to remember, like, there could be a day like for example, Ray does, 3 days sort of evening streams, I think, give or take, depending on what's going on. And then the next day, he might have a day off, but the other lot might want to play some games. So if you stream the days he doesn't stream, you could still use the same sort of squad group and do it on your stream, if that makes sense. And then you've got a squad ready to jump in. You can name it squad this, squad that, whatever you want to call it. And then you sort of move on from there. Each day is different, as we said. But you could probably enjoy all the different sessions that you have. Now I do think this is slightly risky, but I'm going to go with Makihita to start things off here. You're not blue, are you? No. One day I'll get a blue one of you. One day. So that's something you could work towards sort of getting to. But again, you don't want to be going to do the live bit when he's doing it, because it will look like you're trying to take their sort of time slots, if that makes sense. But if it's Tuesday, Thursday, and you want to do Wednesday, Friday, you've got that group that are quite happy to go and play a load of games, ready to go and play those games. To be honest, I don't think he really does too much on the game when he's not streaming, if we're honest. But then that's because it is very exhausting, doing the streaming side of things, the presenting side, and then playing the game casually. I don't really do too much on these anymore. I kind of don't want to when I'm not doing this. I do a little bit on the side, but that's usually when I'm playing with other people again. So there's two ways of looking at what you want from streaming, because if you do too much, you'll get bored. If you do some offline and some online, you're going to be burning yourself out. So you've got to look at it both ways, really. So now we get to taste this big crab, and we're going to start by just getting a punch in. There we go. So that'll flinch it. Now we're going to go and try and paralyze it. I am extremely scared of this Pokemon. I'm not going to lie. This is where it is probably the hardest. Thank you for the follow, Astro Wolf. Welcome in. Welcome to the TypeLocke. This is going to get scary because it is going to want to do... I'm going to do this. I'm hoping the paralyze works. I've just jumped into the second of our battles, which is probably one of the hardest early game. So the idea of this is to try to beat all 18 badges and try to use a different type on each one that will be randomly selected. I got relatively lucky with Cloth where we got fighting type, but we're also doing Nuzlocke rules, so this might die. Very scary. This doesn't really stand a chance, does it? Let's gamble, I guess. If this dies, I think we might lose. Now, part of me might be faster. But the idea is to just do each battle with a different type. We had Dark for the Bug Gym, which was okay because... oh no, that's dead. That's not good. I didn't realise it got faster than me when it's paralysed. And that's why we took this thing, because it was sacrificeable. Right, so I have something that's weak to rock, or something that hasn't got the fighting type yet. That's not good. Right. This is not good. This is not good at all. But I think Palmy will be faster. So I think if I can dig, I could hope that it doesn't knock me out. Bye-bye, Timon. Now you can hit this time, and then you can be fully paralysed. Otherwise this is getting very scary. Okay, that's enough. That's done it. Well, we've lost our hard hitter for this. That's not good. So we'll take that out of the team. We'll put this in the death box. Bye. You sit there. Right. I do get some support in this battle, at least. I don't think I won't need terror. Whatever happens, I will probably nuzzle first move. It's all up to Arvin, really. I'm trusting Arvin to win, because I think he brings a shoulder to this one. So I might be alright. But we'll see. At least this is 2-on-1. But that is officially our first death of this challenge, which is a bit sad. Well, have a good rest of your day. Thank you for coming in. And hopefully we don't end here. Because this could still go badly here, if I'm honest. Yes, I'll probably be lurking around some streams later. Hello Alk, welcome in. I am struggling in this battle with my fighting type only challenge. No, it's not fighting it. Basically, we do one type per gym or per badge, and I got given fighting for this. And I just lost my Makahita because I didn't realise it would be slower when this was paralysed and it had anger shelled. So I've got a Poor Me and a Monferno to beat this cloth with now, and that's it. So I'm hoping we win. And we spin a wheel between each boss. And that gives us our typing. So for Katie we had to use dark types, which we had. What did we have? Wow, that hurts. For Katie we had Houndour, which was swept the thing. I'm in danger. I can't use items either. Yes, I sort of, it makes the most sense because that if I sort of block that out, I can't use, if I had got fighting for Katie, I could have used the Chimchar, I could have used Quaxley if I had got fighting. It just sort of makes a bit more sense that as long as it will become that typing, it's counting. I'm trying not to use items, so this isn't good. Actually, this could work out in my favour, because I will dig, it will use either Life Dew or Water Gun. Hopefully Water Gun. No, of course, use Life Dew. I was hoping it would use Water Gun at trigger Anger Shell. But I might lose my Poor Me here, not gonna lie, if it attacks me. But I might use Life Dew again. Nope, Shell just... Oh, it survived. Can you use it please on me now? Okay, this time you use Water Gun. Now it's going to get the boost. Right, of course. So that's probably going to be fast. No, I'm not sure it's going to be faster than me actually. I can't use items in battle, and the only thing I can swap to is going to be very weak. So, okay, I am faster, thank goodness. Please just use Water Gun, Arvin. Just use Water Gun. Don't use Life Dew. Stupid Arvin. Stupid. It's worse than the NPCs. At least he gave himself some health, I guess. But if he hits me, I'm dead. So good, he went for Shelter. Shelter's dead. Does he have a second Pokemon? I think I'm faster, so I should be able to dig and finish it off. If I lose, poor me, I've got Mach Punch on the Monferno. So that should be a win. Phew. At least I didn't lose 2 Pokemon on that one. That could have been quite bad. I will update my tracker later, but it's a bit more difficult to do as we play through. Like, we've got a big long cutscene here, so could do it here. But as we say, it is a frustrating thing to try to keep up to date with. I would like to do it on the other laptop, but it won't register them both. A little bit annoying. Right, as we said, we have a long cutscene here. We're just going to switch this off while we edit, because we know most of this is just spamming buttons. Right, who do we have? Who did we get today? We got Surskit. No, Sylveon. Surskit. Leo the Surskit. I'm not too worried about locations, I just want the names really. What else did we get? We got an Appleton called Apple Pie. There's an L in Apple Pie, isn't there? What else did we get? We're not going to put the thing we've just lost in, because that's a waste of time. You evolved. What? Oh, that was a copy, was it? Okay. We'll just move you out here to here then. I thought that was the evolve button. That's the copy button. No, not level down. Why did it go to that? It was meant to go to Crocodile. And this is what I mean. I don't like doing this too much in the middle, because when things go wrong, it's hard to sort out. And we won't worry too much about full levels. And you evolve into Monferno. I think that was it. We did get something else. We got a Spinnerack, didn't we? Why did you not type there? Called Freds. We decided not to go for too many. Purely because we didn't need to. I think that's the best way to describe it. We just didn't need to. But we've gone too far down this time, haven't we? Right. Back up to there. There we go. That's our team. It is back. As we said, we're not going to put the Makahito in there because it died. Sadly. But you never know. I am also using the other Nuzlocke tracker, which is probably the better one, I think. I enjoy using it more anyway. I prefer the images on it than the little blocks I've got. That's why I might put them on like a rotating wheel if I can. But that is a problem for a little bit later. We have more cutscenes to go through. What we could do for the cutscene is actually spin the wheel. What will our next type be? Here we are. Here is the wheel. Can you load up this time? Because the last couple of times you've been very, very buggy. There we go. We got it to spin this time. What do we get? We get water type, electric types. Well, I think I know what I want to go for. That's actually pretty nice, and it's good that the Pormy survived, because it could be helpful here. But the problem is I don't have any more electric types. I only have one. I think the sensible thing is to look for the Wattrel. And then we might be okay. Otherwise, I don't really know what else we could go for. Is there many more electric types that we could get for, what we say, level 17? What's around level 17? So the problem is the south area 4 and 5 is between 16 and 23. It's a bit difficult because I can only catch the level 16 or 17. East area is 17, so we can't really touch that. But we could go and have a look down the west and see if we can find a Wattrel on the beach, but we were hoping to make that manky. So that could be an option. Or Tadbulb, that could also work if it evolves. When it comes to the other places, there's a loose chance we could go for more Pecco. Obviously there's Pichu and Pikachu, which is not great for this game. The Onimure, again, that's pretty much all I'm going to get there. So we may have to hope we get a good roll of the dice. But we'll see. We'll work this out once we get to the next town. Yeah, we'll go to the not the gym, the Pokestop outside of Brassius's gym. And see what we can do. As we said, Wattrel is going to be relatively key. So we could use the south area for the raid, because we are allowed one raid before Brassius. That could be the one we pick. But and of course we do have one we can do in Kitakami. We won't come back for Cloth yet. There's not too much point doing it now. We don't really want to risk losing health trying to get that. Maybe we should have gone for Shinx, but in the end the Makihito was actually kind of an MVP just to win the first part of that battle. I would not have won it without it. It's as simple as that. If Monferno had learned Power Up Punch, that would have been a different discussion. And maybe it could have learnt more. I should have really checked its moves. Right, we're just going to save here for a minute. And then we're going to look at the map. But we also remember the level cap is actually only one more level up. For poor me anyway. It's kind of scary too. Right. Who's in the box? That's the death box. So I want to keep trying to get the Wooper up a couple of levels, to be honest. You can come back for a while. So can the Tink. That's going to be kind of big later. And we're going to look more at the types that haven't been used, so we're just going to put you in the team. I will keep the Monferno for now. Right. Right. So what we said we could do is go for one of the south area. That's south area 1, so we could go and try and do this one. or we could do this one. Problem is, I'm also restricting myself from looking at what they are. So I'm thinking, because we have to do we've got both Iona and the fire base here. I want to keep this area for that. So I really want to try and make sure I use a different area per. I know they're going to be, there's sort of two here. So I've got East 1 and East 2. So I'll try and use East 2 for Iona and East 1 for the fire base. So I want to use South 5 for this battle, I think. Now we can't catch anything here because it's going to be too over leveled. If it's an electric type, we win. I think I do have to reluctantly go and have a look for a kilowatt troll. That's going to have to be, or a watt troll that will become a kilowatt troll. So it's fine. Like, it'll be quite funny though if I got like flying type for the electric gym as well. So let's go and find this. Let's see. Please be something good. If it's a repeat, we do get another reroll. But remember, I will only accept my first one. So let's see what we get here. I got a flying type. It's also quite a high level. I don't know if anybody is here that would like to help. It will be open. I still think Pormy might be my best bet if I have to do this on my own. But I don't want to lose it just before the battle. Hound Tower could work, I guess. It won't have a rock move, right? But this is only a wing goal. You know, probably going to have to risk the Pormy. What I'll do is I will open it up for people if they want to join. It'll be there. If they don't, we will have to run this one solo. This could be a risky one, to be honest. It's 2-star. It's a fletchling. So, it's a rock type fletchling. I'm going to go to Kitakami and have a look for one as well in a minute. I'm not going to do a normal encounter here yet because they're going to be too high a level. It is 2-star. It can't be used in the next battle because we've got electric types for the next badge. So, yeah, it was a bit of bad luck really. I don't think there's many electric types at this stage of the game. I'm looking at Wattrel as one of my potential outcomes for this. I think that's my best bet, to be honest. As we said, we're sort of trying to plan one step ahead, so if there's nothing there to catch, we don't want to catch just to say we're catching. If that makes sense. That's the way I've got to look at it. Because at the moment, the only electric type I have is Pormy. And that only survived with like 10 HP in the last battle. So, it's not great. It's really not great. But we did want this. This was one we mentioned about getting earlier as well, wasn't it? Because this was one that you suggested for Route 1. As I said, the only reason I said no was because I thought I would get it somewhere else. It's not that I didn't want it. This does boost our fires to 4 fire types. Anybody want to name a fletchling / talonflame, hopefully? I'm always open to funky nicknames. So the other thing I've mentioned before is maybe going for this like shiny living dex from scratch once the Switch 2 comes out, and then using this shiny dex tracker. If I am going to do that, I will be opening up nicknames for all of the Pokemon. It's a different thing to what I normally do. I very, very rarely name my Pokemon. Like, I've never really done it. It's just never been a thing. Because this one, if you get the right Terra type, is actually how you beat Brassius pretty easily. The main reason I say that is because you can lose the fire and flying type and still be a Fletchinder. What level was that? Just out of interest. It was level 20, so that's... well, we can't use it anyway in the next battle, so it's not a problem. I think Bombardier is 20, which is kind of scary. Yeah, so my level cap at the moment is 17. It could be used against Bombardier if I get it, but it's annoying that it isn't much help because it's not going to evolve. That's why I'm looking at what's it called? The Kilowattrel for that. We're going to do this raid over here. Right, I'm going to go and just do this dark raid. Why not? Because we've done 2 here, yeah. So what we said was we get 1 per boss on this map. But we're not, once we've done all of the locations, we won't do more. As I said, I could go around and just do all the level 12s, but it will be a little bit boring because I would have too much of a selection. So we want to try and mix it up. So we get a lot. Right. I'm praying for something electric. I really am, because I am not convinced I can beat this with a Pawmi. I don't really know a strat to win with a Pawmi. I also don't want to do an encounter here. What do we get? We get a Hoot Hoot. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. I can handle Hoot Hoot. We'll open it up. It's a dark type Hoot Hoot. But again, I don't really need to do too much if you join, and then we won't do another one until after Brassius. The other thing I also said I want to try to do is pick a different location per raid if possible. So that's why we did South Area 5 for Brassius, because it is south of the area, and then we've got 2 east for Iona and the Fire Terror or Steam Star one. We can do the desert one for the worm, and we got Tag Tree Thicket for the poison. On the other side of the map, we've got the Bombardier to do, and then we get so Bombardier will be West 1, but I will have to double up on West 1 if we do the Dark Base, because there isn't anything else close to it, unless I do South 4, just because we could use South 4, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's trying just to make sure I don't use too many of the same typings, really. Or the same locations for the raids. Because I did like a whole tracker for all of the raids and everything, and we got so many. We'll just put these in permeable so we know which is which. I think that works. Anybody got a good name for our owl? Like, if I could remember what the owls in Sonic were called, I would name it after that, but I can't remember the names of the owls in Sonic. But I am, as I said, I wanted to get Mankey on that location, but sadly it didn't. It's going to have to be Kilowattrel. I cannot do the gym without a flying type. I don't think, and with just electric types. So I'm going to have to go and look for it. Longclaw, that's the one. We will have Hoot Hoot the Longclaw, or Longclaw the Hoot Hoot. As you also have one on your team, I should have one in my selection. Right? Is that how it works? This was, as we said, a raid, so we don't know what we're getting. We've got flying sorted, though. See, this other tracker I've got that I haven't put anything in that we've got today has something really nice that you can just look at all your typings. So I think I just need to get to sort of anywhere down here, and I think I can get a Wattrel. Otherwise we're in a lot of trouble. As I said, I don't really know how I'm going to get a poor me or to win against the grass types. I've got dig and electric moves. I don't have any setup moves yet. So there's that as a problem. Right. But I've also got to navigate this without running into a Capsicid, probably. Because we know how Capsicid likes to mess with us and get in the way. Because it is still, as we say, Nuzlocke encounters. If I find something, I've got to keep it. Very annoyingly. So I've got to be careful. This is why I don't do like the full sprint when I do these games. Because if I do full sprint, things appear out of nowhere. And I don't like that. Even when I do proper shiny hunting. You tend to run past everything too easily. Like my only other option is Tadpole, but I don't know what level it evolves at. Because if it evolves after level 17, it's no good. I used it myself in my Soul Link, and it was an MVP. It was fantastic, but sadly, its teammate died, so we didn't get to keep it for much longer. Oh, some more. You're a bit too close, so I'm not going to try and get those ingredients yet. As we said, we've got to be extremely careful not to run into anything we don't want. It is a horrible navigation process. There's the tab bulb. Just avoid the tab bulbs, please. Get up here. We can go to the Pokestop, I guess, just to unlock it. I think you have to interact with them all to unlock it, right? You can't just drive past them. We've also got to check the levels before we go throwing Pokeballs at them. Because if it's higher than level 17, I can't use it. But the one plus side is I can go straight into that battle. Which is good. And what we'll do is we'll probably do the Brassius one. And then we will do our encounters for Bombardier. But not the Bombardier. So we'll team build, and that will be today's session. Boy from Belgium, are you doing a stream today, or is it still Crystal for you for the day? And is it Diaz or Mario? Lovely. Which ones are you? Are you still trying to do your Zygarde more than anything else? Or open to whatever? Depends who's there, I guess. Where is this drop down area? That's where I need to be, on the beach. Go away, Ghastly. We don't want you. We'll worry about ghosts later. We have one ghost type. That was closer than it needed to be. I'm still desperately searching for my Landorus and Thunderous. Obviously I got the paths, but I just not got them caught. I'm up to, but I'm counting 30. Right, please say Kilowattrel comes down here. I don't just have wing goals. What level 16? It doesn't matter, wing goal's fine. I've got a wing goal, so it doesn't matter if I run into another one. Please say we can get a Kilowattrel down here. Oh, that's a Buizel. We don't want Buizel. We don't want Boxer. Or the Wiglets. We really don't want a Wiglet. Hello, Robin. How are you today? We finished sharing all the rest of the alphas? We are desperately looking for a Kilowattrel so we can actually deal with Brassius, because I have electric as my random type for it, and my only electric type at the moment is Pormy. And I thought for sure that they were down here. But I might be wrong. I don't know how close this is to getting to the next area. Nice. That's going to be too high a level, isn't it? That's definitely too high a level. Oh, is that a ramp? Okay, let's have a look. Just check these levels. I think they're crazy high here. Cool. Level 17 is my level cap. Doesn't really matter. You know, considering that's actually a Kilowattrel, that's level 40. Maybe we don't want to stay down here. But we lost our Makahita, which was a bit annoying. We got relatively lucky with one of our encounters. We had fighting types for cloth. So I had a Makahita, a Pormy, and a Monferno for that battle. But I lost the Makahita, which was a bit annoying. That's what we want. You. Because I have no other option. We just throw Pokeballs, right? Damn it. I half expect this to have like Volt Absorb or something as well. Pluck. Okay, I don't have anything that you can pluck. Let's get this thing. One more of them, I think we're about to catch it, right? Thundershock. Okay, well, I'm a Pormy, so I should be fine. So I've got to try and beat Brassius with a Wattrel and a Pormy somehow. So I'm hoping it's also Electric Terror. Anybody want to name my Wattrel? Let's see. Please, please be the right Terror. But we're going to do a Brassius' battle. Hopefully win that one. Spin the wheel for whatever we need for Bombardier and build the team. Poser. Okay, we will add it to the party. We need to level you up. There's Monferno. Sorry, Rafiki, you can go back in the box for a little while. We don't really need you, because I don't know when fire is going to become relevant again. Heal you up and put you at the top of the party. And luckily for me, there's a lot of water types here that we can just spat. There's a few too many rock types for my liking, but there's Magikarps, there's Wingulls. He should destroy them all. Nope, nope, come back. Not taking on the rock type. Stupid bird. Actually, that was an electric type. So I need to get it to at least level 16, really. I don't know what level it evolves. Again, I should do some more research, but I is lazy. I've actually got to be careful with what's it called? What am I fighting? What was that? I've got to be careful with... How did you get so weak, my friend? You were meant to be like max health. Well, I have no normal potions. I've been using them up whenever I pick them up. I could have run and done this, so that's why I'm not too worried. It's not a proper battle. I'm not using items in the boss battles. Unless it's I'm trying not to. I probably won't, but I probably end up will. Because it depends what types I get to what I can and can't achieve. And we've learnt Spark. I'm not... no idea why I'm excited we've learnt an extra electric move. Because I would rather learn an extra flying move. But whatever. And Eagerly Buff is evolving. That was why we kept it around. Ironically, Kickball is here, and is now a Jigglypuff. I don't know if I've found a Moonstone, but we could have a Wigglytuff already. And the one good thing with this game is when they evolve, they learn all their moves. So, there is that. Right, I've got to be careful because poor me is actually level 17 right now. So poor me, you go and sit there, where you're still very important, but you're not going to over level. Right. Kilowattrel still needs at least one more level. We've got enough water types to deal with it, or help with it. But we'll see. We know we're doing okay here. Right? This is the bit, as we said, we always say, this is the horrible bit of Nuzlocke, where it is a little bit slow, because you've got to just level everything up. And while this game does make it a lot easier, it doesn't change too much. As we said, we'll do Brassius and we'll go and get at least the next 2 raids done before we finish off for today. We'll sort of build our team for Bombardier. I'm very scared because there are a few types that it is absolutely going to destroy. Most notably Bug, because it's got flying and rock. And my only bug... I've got 2 bug types at the moment, haven't I? I've got Spinnerack and a Swaddle. So both not going to be great for that battle. So there is that. So that's level 16. I think that'll be fine. Right. Nope, we want to stay in this map, don't we? Where are you? Over here. Right. I'm going to do the same sort of rule as what I did last time. When it comes to the battle, the trial, I'll keep a squad together just for the levels more than anything else. Because at the end of the day, it's going to cut down on a little bit of grinding. We'll take this one out, but they flat out won't be used in battles. We just want to check its moves, see if it does have a slightly stronger flying move. Pluck is pretty strong, actually. Oh, what terror was it? That was going to be also a big thing. It's a flying terror. No. Oh, no. I was hoping for something different. Now is the question, do we sacrifice poor me against the Sudowoodo? Ooh. Oh, that's going to be difficult, isn't it? I don't think the Wattrel will survive one rock throw. Unless it evolves at level 60 at 17. That'll be very interesting to test that one out. But we'll see. Like, we've done worse with less. Why is it that I always get the phone calls in the middle of the recordings? Probably EE again, trying to get me to do something new. But they never leave a message. So it's important, leave a message. Not everyone can drop everything they're doing and answer a phone call. But let's see how this is going. Right, we have to do more talking because this game likes to make me talk. Like, Nimona, I don't care. Right. Let's jump into this trial. We've got to catch some Sunflora. We may fight a couple just for that little extra on the watch roll, but I doubt it'll be enough. I might get lucky and find an item that's going to help. But I am thinking I may have to sacrifice the Pour Me. It's just scared. I don't really want to get rid of the watch roll, but I don't know. They're both really good to have on your team. As we said before, fighting is not brilliant typing, but we have used fighting and electricity, so if I do lose somebody, I can get away without needing Pour Me. That sounds bad, but considering I've got to do this badge with 2 electric types, I don't think there's anything worth getting. Like, my only potential options are more Morpeko and Pikachu, and I don't think that's, like, the electric types are not going to make too much of a difference. And Morpeko again being a dark type means that I've already used up one of my dark type. I've already used dark type. I will only need the Pikachu for this battle as a backup, so it's a bit pointless. Right, I recently discovered this was the quick way around doing these. Don't ask me how, but I don't think I actually had to battle a single one when I went this way and did this. Like, most of the time I went the other way and it was stupid for me. I think there's one here. Yep. It's only the ones that run that you have to battle. And I don't think there's any on this side of the map that can run around. I just know that it kind of breaks the game. Well, this one might run around. Nope. Then you just carry on round here. I think there was one. Nope. Welcome in. How are you doing today? We've managed to beat the first 2 badges. Pretty well. We lost one Pokemon. It was a little bit more difficult than we wanted to. Cloth hits too hard. Well, hopefully things can get better. Oh, a Quick Claw. I don't think that really affects the 2 what they've got here. No worries. Hopefully today will be a good day at work. And the good news is I have not found a shiny yet in here. In fairness, I can barely see the screen. So that doesn't help. The laptop doesn't make this look very good. Is this the 10th one? No. Shall we do one battle? We could do one battle. Nope, not in there. We know where they all are. I don't really know why I'm making it difficult. There we go. That was easy. We have all 10. Didn't do a battle, which would have probably been a bit nicer. This is one of those examples of a challenge being a bit pointless. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't really do much for the story. If you would like to keep this a Sunflora, maybe, but I don't really get the point in this challenge. I find a few of the gym challenges a bit pointless, really. But we don't have too much time left, as we say today. Actually, I should really rush to do this when the rain's up, right? Should make my electric moves hit a bit harder. But then if we Terra, I don't know. Is it better to Terra into flying? Will I become much weaker to Rock Throw? Or will I partially resist it if I stay electric? That's the question. It would have been perfect if I had been an electric Terra on this. But I think I'll focus on just beating the first two things, and then I do have to make the decision. Do I sacrifice Poor Me or gamble with Kilowattrel? That's the thing, because if Kilowattrel dies, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. So I've got to be careful not to do anything too drastic. This is kind of why it's difficult early games. You don't get many specialist moves to make you stronger or faster. But let's see if we can beat Brashes. I think the first two I'll be fine against. But we know I don't have a setup move. The problem is the Pseudo Voodoo does have Sturdy, so even if Pluck was to one-shot it, it's not much help. It should. I thought that would do a lot more, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. That's already quite scary. Wow. I guess we do this. Because then we get another level of stab, right? Is this how Terra works? I always forget. But this has now become a lot scarier than it should have been. Okay, so that has helped. But now I'm not as strong when it comes defensively. And I forgot to take the rest of the team out. But we won't use them. If both of these die, it will be considered game over. So don't worry about that. What? You survived? This is not good. This is very, very not good. Poor Me is going to have to die. It's pretty much as simple as that. Sorry, Poor Me. I've used fighting and this is electric. So you're the one that's going to have to be sacrificed. I need Kilowattrel for later. It might win. You never know. I'm going Nuzzle to paralyse it and break the Sturdy. That's my sort of hope here. But the problem is I'm trying not to use healing items in battle as well. This was always going to be a difficult battle, whatever I had to deal with, because I only had 2 electric types, and I had to go and catch the Wattrel. So that was always going to be difficult for me. I just need to break the Sturdy. But if I don't win with these 2 electric types, it's already game over. So yeah, that's a problem. And the TypeLocke wasn't as successful as I had hoped. So I want to just get the paralyze off. That's going to hurt. Yeah. So I can't swap, really. I could stall with some digs, I guess. But we might win. It just depends on our paralyzed luck. See, that time it was paralysed, so this time it will probably hit. And it did nothing. 2 paralyzers. Right. We're getting there. See, my only moves are like quick attack. Probably will do more. But it's not too. That's a crit as well. Now it's going to start using Trailblaze as well. That'll put it back to normal speed, I think. Yeah, we knew we were going to lose that. This was going to be a tough battle. I think we're going to lose, you know. I really do think we're going to lose. I need a huge bit of luck that he gets paralysed, because that's the only way I can. I think it's a 2-shot pluck. I should have tried to, I guess, catch a sacrifice for Pikachu, and that's going to be 3 shots. Paralyze, nice. 1 more paralyze. Wow, why did that do less? Trailblaze, that might survive, but I doubt it. Oof, 2 HP. But it is now maybe faster than me. Finish it off, please. No, it did not finish it. Paralyze. I know I'm faster at least. Talk about clutching it up with the little electric burn. Wow. And that's why nobody likes Nuzlocke. That was way too close for its own good to be. But Poser to the rescue. Yeah. I don't really know how we won that, to be honest. Clutching with the 2 HP. If he had used Rock Throw, it would have been game over. I think it was sort of the programming wanted to get the speed back, didn't it? That's probably how I'm reading that. It seems to be a bit of a problem with these games. They like to increase or decrease speed. That's their priority. But, wow. What a clutch that was. Right. Ah, wow. Right, so we will have a couple of raids to do now. As we said, we're going to plan the team for Bombardier. Which means going together and we get the next level of Kitakami raid. We may do encounters depending on the typing we need for the Bombardier. I'm also extremely scared of the Bombardier. I have nothing that is strong. Actually, I have a fairy type. So if I roll fairy, I'll be okay, because I'll look for a moonstone, and I've got Wigglytuff and Tink. So I think they'll be good. That doesn't sound very healthy for a cat. So let's get our Wheel of Destiny back up and see what type we need to beat Bombardier with. It does. What level does Tinkerton evolve? But it depends if we get Fairy. If we don't get Fairy, it doesn't matter, really. Well, Ghost, we do get Fairy. We did get Fairy. Lovely. Talk about rolling in my favour for the... That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Switch that off now. We don't need the Wheel of Destiny. Go off. Right. We'll go to the box. We will have to send poor me to the death box to go with the other fighting type. Right. Jigglypuff can come into the team then. I'm going to let you rest, Kilowattrel, because you did a lot more than you needed to in that battle. I don't want you to die. Right. 24. So, not going to get any evolution. I think the plus side is the steel type might resist the rock. So, Right. We said we're going to do these encounters. I'm going to try and get enough of fairy type. I need to get out of here before we move. So we got one raid in the west area. We'll see if there is a fairy type there that we can pick up. I don't know if there's actually a fairy type in this map, but we do have an encounter there. But we definitely have a raid. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The steel typing should make it a little bit safer. But it's all maybes, I guess. Right. As I said, we'll go and do these two raids. We'll do some healing. I don't think I need to, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't think there's a fairy type in... Oh, we can't do an encounter here. We just caught the killer watchful, didn't we? We got the watchful here. So we can't do a normal encounter. We can just do the raid encounter. No, we're on the wrong game for the shiny noise. That's designed for my Legends Arceus these days. Sadly. What do you want, Capsa Kid? Go away. Oh. That's not good. I want to take... Yep, that's why we designed it for the Legends Arceus. Why can I not just run away from this stupid little thing? Go away. Right, let's get to this raid thing. Where was it? Over this way. I guess we'll go up. Because it will be better to be over it than having to get back up to it. As we said, we've done our encounter here. Actually, it's down there. That's not too bad. I don't think I've ever actually been down here in 2 years of playing this game. But remember, we don't want to do too many. And that's the worry with Dynamax hunting. If you get too into just going for one, you'll burn yourself out and you won't enjoy them. That's why it's always difficult to be a shiny hunter, because if you get too into them, you will miss out. Oh, we're going to lose Wooper. God, why are you so slow, Wooper? Were you trying to hatch the fossils, or the Gen 7 fossils is that you're trying to get? And the Galar fossils even. Right, let's get through here. And we get to this raid. First things first, I am taking Wooper out of the top of the party before it dies. So if anyone wants to do this, it will be open. What do we get? Lorantus. Right. Challenge as a group. Put this up. I'll go and get a fire type for this. We will get you. Right. Yeah, we can take this. I think this one's not too difficult. It's another grass type, but yeah, can't really help that. Is there any fairy types in Kitakami I could go and get? That's the question. That is the question. Like, I can't remember there being a fairy type in Reveler's Road. So that's out of my hunting area. I know I could maybe go and get a Rolt. That would be an interesting one. So I could get a Guard of War for much later. That would be a very good choice. Yes, the turbo thing tends to come up a lot at the end of ads nowadays, doesn't it? I think I would like a spare spare fairy for this one. I don't want to risk another one with just 2. So that's why I'm looking to try and find another fairy type, but so anybody want to name this? I'm no good at knowing anything. I was actually spent most of the morning looking at Switch 2 Pro controllers myself, if I'm honest. I have only ever really used the Joy-Cons, and I know some of them have turbo, but I don't know which are good and bad. So I was looking to try and get the equivalent of a third-person one, Luna. The Fermentus. So this one could be very good late game when we get the grass rolled. Yeah, I don't want to use those type of names. I want to keep the names sensible in my naming things. That's why I'm not doing channel points for them. If I was doing channel points, then I have to sort of accept things that I wouldn't want. And as I said, the fun thing about this is you can't name a Pokemon Chicago, because it is apparently something kinky in Polish. I learned it out because I used to do Nuzlocke, and I would make random list generators for my nicknames. And that was one. Yep, Chicago is something kinky in Polish. I think I can get to this one. So I used to do states or cities and stuff like that, and whenever I go to do Chicago, I have to make it with an R and an O. A 0, I think, is the best way I can get it to fit, or maybe even a bit more mixed up. It's a strange one, right? So I made like a generator of every country in the world, every capital city, a host of other things, just because I was doing a Nuzlocke that would involve thousands of Pokemon. So the idea was that instead of me ever having to think of nicknames, because I hate thinking in nicknames, I made that as sort of like something to do on the side. No repeats in there either, so we could like mix it up. There would be like actors and actresses, first names, second names. So we do know we still need an encounter on Revelers Road, but at the moment I feel like just saving it, unless there is a fairy type, which I don't think there is. I just don't feel like it's the smartest play to go and do an encounter right now, and getting something I can get a dupe of a bit later. So this area is like a good backup route at the moment. Like for example, I don't want anything that's a fighting type, or an electric type, or a dark type. So that takes those off the table. I've got 4 fire and flying types. So don't really want to spend an encounter on that. Now that would be quite an interesting one if I got myself Petalil and went and got the Hisuian one. I know that would mean having to stick it in and out of Legends Arceus. This person gives you Tufu, which is very helpful for Chansey grinding. I learnt that. But we are sort of keeping a bit of a mental note of which places we haven't been to yet. Right, I don't think that's going to count as Oni Mountain, so we might not do that one. The mountain ones are the more frustrating because there's not too many spots for stuff. But we can have a look at this raid. Otherwise we could go for one a bit further around or do the moss-filled other one there. But if we can go to level 20, we can have a peek somewhere else. There are a few more spots. We can go for general encounters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be... Actually, it might be just... Nope, that's Reveler's Road. Great. I can't do it, so I'm just going to see what it is. It was a polywag then. Too bad. What is it? Okay, we could maybe try this one. We'll just have to fly back here, so I can't get back up. 3 days of following. Nice. Considering we've only been going for a couple of months. Yes, nearly 4. We could maybe get that. That's a good one, because when it comes to the ice types, I will probably want a bit of coverage rather than just ice. Like, I already think the main mounting one is going to be Pillow Swine, no, Swine Up. Which is why I don't really want to get anything here. Just be a little bit careful. Right, so this is now Onimure. Where was this that I'm looking? Actually, there's a Hattini. What's this count as? Now we need to do the swine up here. Ah, no, okay. We've already got this, so that's not a problem. That's not going to count as an encounter. So, the reality is we're going to have to go and do this one. Because everything else is in a location we've already done a raid for. Yes, Dragon joined during the DA month. So, and since then, he started a couple of shiny quests. Got some shiny legendaries in DAs. And just shinies in general. Uh-oh. That's going to count as an encounter, isn't it? Great, and it's level 20, which is fine, I guess. It's only a sea dot. It's a bit annoying because I didn't want this in this area. I was going to go for the poltergeist, but never mind. I don't think this can do too much to Wigglytuff. Go to sleep, because this is going to start hurting. Right. It is useful later, it's just I don't really have a very good team for catching things. That's the main problem here. And it's doing rollout on me. Okay, so anybody want to name a sea dot? Probably Shift Tree. This is the Mossfield. What's this place called? I don't know. But this is this area's encounter. And as I said, I would have liked to have gone for the poltergeist. The shift tree. Okay. You can't be used much because you're at the level cap. Right, we are trying to get to that raid then. That was the plan. Just got to be careful of Ekins because they will sneak up on me. It is another polywag, which is fine. We need polywag. We'll decide whether it's going to be Polytoad or Poliwrath. Depends how easy it is to get a King's Rock, I guess. I should change Pokemon actually, because that's weak. We could actually use the Seedot in this one, couldn't we? Why not? Right. And let's actually look at this guide very, very quickly. So we've done Kitakami, yes. I found a few, yes. It's, do I want it to be Politoed or Poliwrath? Because again, we did just lose 2 fighting types, so it could work out quite nicely to be an extra fighting type later. I think a lot depends on when we get the water type, more than anything else. What else? We haven't done Revelers Road, and we didn't do any mountain. Right, I'm just ticking off my encounters so we don't double up on anything. Once we beat the Bombardier, we can actually go into the water and start getting a couple of encounters. But until we can, like, I want to go and get Shelder. Shelder is probably the most important. And we could actually go and do 4 and 5. Actually, because that level cap is 23 from my research. I've done so much research over the years to try and get this like Soul Link set up perfectly. I've got all of the level caps and everything set up. Go-Goat's a goated shiny though. That's the good thing about it. It's one you think is going to be a bit boring for a shiny, but when you see it, it just stands out so much. I really like it. Oh yes, I don't have lazy controls in here. So it's whether I want to go and... I should probably go and try those encounters, you know. Probably would be sensible. As I said, we want to try and put these in Premier Balls, just so I know which ones are the Terror ones. Are they both very high levels, your Skidoo and Go-Goat? Do you sort of make all of your shinies like level 100-ish as well, or just keep them as they are if they're not going to evolve? So that's the other thing, where I feel like I made a little bit of an error for my personal preferences. I would like to have the shiny living decks all in luxury balls. So that's why, again, another side of why I would like to start a fresh run through them all, but I don't think you get luxury balls in Let's Go. So that takes a few Pokemon out. Fair enough. So what shall we name? Polly. We haven't decided which Polly it's going to be honest. As I say, I'm leaning towards Poliwrath just because it would be helpful to have a second. It will only be a second fighting type available for later in the game. Politoed might be a better water type all round, but the thing is, with this, we can also wait until we need to use water. Hypnotized. Yeah, so we could keep it as a Poliwhirl for as long as possible. And then if we get water against a fire gym, we can just use it. But if we get it against the Psychical Fairy, we don't evolve it. Or we go Poliwrath. That could be what we do. That's my thinking. I still feel like I should go and try these other encounters now. But there isn't too much there. That's the problem. I'm looking at the selections of that area and this area, and I would love to have a second fairy type, but I don't think there is much of an... I don't think Fido was appear in either of these. we've got Tink, we've got Jiggly. Well, actually, we've got a Jigglypuff for this battle, because I can get a Moonstone somewhere, I think, eventually. So if I can get the Moonstone, I don't need... I will just be using the Wigglytuff against the Bombardier. I think we should be able to handle that. But the other thing is we need a couple of levels on it, don't we? I didn't unlock that. I went all the way up there, but I didn't unlock it. The evolutions are a bit of a pain to get to isolate. Like, the only time I've ever really hunted them is if I've had an outbreak. And that's how we got the Sylveon. But I haven't had any of the others. Like, there's generally 1 or 2 spawns. Like, I think if you get very lucky, you might be able to do the Psychic Sandwich around the fairy base, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to see whether I have a Moonstone. May have picked it up by chance, I guess. It would be very good if I did. But I do think I need a fairy move on Jigglypuff. I need to actually check its moves as well. Because we've done most of our leveling up without doing much. So we'll have to give it this for now. It has competitive, which is going to be very nice. I don't really want Copycat. Right, any other moves that are interesting here? Not really. Tink, has Tink learned anything else new? Baby Doe Eyes and Rock Smash. Really think they're that much help. Right. Oh, that place can be a bit awkward as well. That's where one of my copies of the game glitched a lot. So I don't like that area myself. I have not found a Moonstone. I don't know if I want to explore heavily for one. But I do need one, really. I've got to think what to do with that. But for the most part, I think that's going to be... is that going to be it, or should we try... We're going to try and level these things up. What's the next boss? Just so I'm not going too crazy. This page. So, Bombardier is 20. And then... Giacomo is 21. Is it night time, just out of interest, in your game? Could it be that that might affect it? I can't say for sure, but there's a chance. I've seen crazier things, like Espeon might just not spawn at night. So I'm very reluctant to go to the other 2 locations because I don't need the encounter right now. If I have Wigglytuff, I win. I don't think it's going to be any form of challenge with Wigglytuff. But we'll see. I'm going to go up here because I know there's some more Mastiffs. So I could do a bit of leveling up before we finish off, so we could actually start going straight into a battle next time, which will be probably Saturday. We're going to do this one. We'll do DAs tomorrow. Like we always say, day of DA is a day of TypeLocke. Generally have the Wednesdays off, so it may become a double day, an extra DA day, depending on my evening schedule and how I feel after the film. Actually, it's the Europa League final next week, so I might not be around. I get to see if I can find out if it's going to be shown anywhere, which will be interesting. Whether it's going to be hidden on TNT, so I can't watch it unless I go to a pub. So you just want to beat these up. Go Jigglypuff, go! So this is why we picked Jigglypuff at the other location. We could have gone full blown for the Fido, but we actually got really lucky because we got the competitive one. So we should be okay with that ability. I'm not desperate to get Tinkerton to the best level, but I do remember this one is probably one of the harder of the double battles, purely because you don't get to heal between the two. So it's always a bit more cautious when you do that one. And because we're trying to maybe not use items in the boss battles, we might struggle a bit more. We just, as we say, got to be a bit cautious in that one. Not to overdo it. That's not even a Pokemon. I'm going up here because I know there's a lot of Mastiffs. So it just seems like it's a bit easier to go and fight Mastiff than try to take on fighting types, because neutral. They will still hurt me. And it is like one of these places that might have a moonstone, I guess. I don't know. I really want this moonstone, but I know I'm not going to get that lucky, don't we? We all know it. Actually, talking of moonstones, the other option is to actually go... No, because I can't. I could have gone to try and get the Clefairy, but I can't because I need to go and get the ice type there. I keep forgetting. That Oni Mountain, or Oni Muir, has pretty much got the encounter. I can't change it. I have to have that for an ice type. It's too risky to... Like, I'm at that stage where I can't say no to an ice type as well. Like, the early couple of rolls were like, if I get an ice type, I'm going to have to re-roll. But now I can, once we beat the Bombardier, we can go into the water, so I can get a Shelder. So yeah, I'm kind of at that stage where I can't just say, no, I'll get it next time. That was always sort of my limit here, pretty much. But we just want to do a couple of levels on these two. But this won't take too long. And the idea was just to see if we got lucky and found one. Like, nothing can really hurt me here because they're all like single digit levels. We are slow, aren't we then? But if it tries to do anything to lower my speed, I will also counter pretty nicely too. See? Look at that. But when it comes to why you don't get an Espeon, I don't know. I know I've had it sort of bug out on me a couple of times for other types there as well. Like, I think I had, when we had the special Poor Me event, or Poor Mo, the middle one, and we had a few that were meant to spawn there, and I was seeing like 2 at best. So, okay, Jigglypuff, just fly between them both. Oh, a level 10. At least it's a bit higher. Nice. At least Espeon's a nice shiny to see, unlike most of the evolutions. Where did you come from, you little hobbit? I think it would be naive not to go to level 20 for this. Because if I can't evolve this, it's going to be very difficult. Well, it's not difficult, but it could be easier. I think it's going to be the best words I should use. But we're not trying to shiny hunt. I do want something a bit easier to fight though. More level wise. Not easier, but gives me more XP. Again, this is what we don't like about Nuzlocke, and I don't even want to do any of this offline because it kind of goes against the point of what we're doing. The idea is this whole challenge is an online challenge. None of even the horrible grinding sets will have to be done here. But then I can do like the grinding at the beginning just to get going. I need to just talk to this sign so I can come here quicker. But we don't have any more raids today to do. This is one of the Pokemon I have spent so much time trying to shiny hunt. I have now got both of mine. I even got a spare in the end. But I went through so many encounters trying to get it. It's crazy. Right. So I think we're at that level. Well, actually, we should check the Pokédex. Have I got any rewards? We might have some rewards. That might be a moonstone. No, stop. Nope. Okay. Worth a shot, I guess. Worth a shot. Right, we'll do a couple more. Go, Jigglypuff. Now we're going to get it up to level 19, I think, with these. Like, nothing's really going to hurt me, I don't think. Right, unless I run into like the steel types. I think that might not work. So I just fight everything here. It's fine, it's fine. And there's only a couple of steel types here. So that could be a bit of my backup. Like, I wasn't going to plan for Magnet Zone, but Magnet Zone could be my steel type in a bit. Just for the extra coverage. I was going to go Bronzor. There's a few places I can get a Bronzor. I do like using Bronzor too. I think it's one of my favourite Pokemon to use in Nuzlocke because it's just so bulky. So bulky. It's ridiculous. What is that? That's a Merry Pokemon. Like, and the fact, as I said, when you do the Poison Terra Star base, if you go in with a Bronzor, you can set up on the stun tank, because all it's got is Sucker Punch and Toxic moves. So if you basically PP stall the Sucker Punch, you can set the Pokemon up with a couple of moves. I think I used to Calm Mind or Iron Defense. Then it can't use the grass moves on you. It can't use the poison moves on you. And then once it's used up a couple, you've got your defense up, you've got your attack up. If you can find a good speed increasing move, so I quite often used to use Trailblaze. Use that for my Azumarill. You give yourself the fast pace. You've completely leveled all your stats up and your sweep. And then when you come to the car, you tear it into a psychic type if you've got the right roll of the dice. Right, so this is going to be it for today then. We'll go over to here, because that's where we're going to start the next episode of this. I'm just going to say I doubt I will find a moonstone. It's a bit annoying that I will have a little look to see where I can get a static moonstone, and we'll work back from there. There might be one in the mountains on Kitakami, because that's where you have a few. But that will be. We'll try to update the tracker. I've got ideas of what I want to do, so I might swap what the tracker looks like too. So be prepared for something different next time with it. But it's still going to be difficult to set up everything perfectly for that. So we can have another quick glance through our teams. We've got stuff that's ready to evolve. I've got quite a big buggy team here. As we say, Seedot will probably evolve in the next level up. That's just down next. We don't need it anymore, or for a long time. So I don't know how I'm going to handle Poochyena, to be honest. These are just over leveled, aren't they? No, just don't need that at the moment. Yeah. So we got quite a lot. What we're going to quickly do is put these in typing order. I have this weird like habit of how I like to sort my stuff out. So we do this. And then we can put the fire types here. Fire again. What else? We then have a water flying. That's another fire. Actually, this can go down here. So this is like our fire dark corner flying. Then we've got some water. We'll put the normal above that. And we've got 2 grass. We've got 3 grass, haven't we? We'll sort out that one later. Yeah. So that's like, I think our team's pretty nice. I've seen worse, but I think we should be able to handle Bombardier with a Wigglytuff. Let's be honest. So let's just say that's going to be it for today.